Can you make a note on our Facebook page that we're live?
Yeah, that'd be great to share that.
You can hear me.
Hey, I think we are live.
We're live, yes.
On Facebook. So I want to welcome everybody back today for another episode of our Wedding Wednesday Zoom chats that we like to stream live to our Facebook page. Today we are talking to 3 local bridal shops, which I'm so excited. I think with this phase 1 that we're in, we are getting ready to open back up. Some of those shops, and I know we're going to talk a little bit about that today so that they can kind of fill you in on all the details. Wedding planning definitely has not taken a backseat to this virus. We've been very active in the community, staying connected with our vendors and trying to help bridge that gap between the vendors and the brides, because that's what we do here at Forever Bridal. So I'm really excited to have these bridal shops with us today to tell you all a little bit about them and what they do, what they offer, something unique, how they got started, something you can't read on their Facebook page. So I'm going to turn it over here and let everybody introduce themselves. And we are going to start with Janine. Janine is joining us from Gavin Christensen Bridal. So Janine, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, so my name is Janine Cargo. I am the owner of Gavin Christensen Bridal. We are a boutique. We're in downtown Durham, North Carolina. And just really excited to be here to chat with you all and talk about all things bridal.
Wonderful. Thanks for joining us today. I have Denise standing by. Looks like she is on location at Savvy. So Denise, take it away.
Hi, Laura. Hi, all you brides. Congratulations on your wedding. My name's Denise. I'm at Savvy Formalwear in Raleigh. And today we're having a power outage at my store. It happened about 20 minutes ago, and they say it'll be back on about 5:30, so right after this. Sorry about that, but we're using the natural light in the store. I've been in the business about 25 years, so we've been making brides' dreams a reality for a long, long time. And we're doing a lot of things virtually and can help you in many different ways. We sell bridesmaids gowns and tuxedos in addition to the wedding gowns. We've got a lot of different price points. We've got from $500 to, generally speaking, the most expensive in our store is $2,900, and that's fully customizable. We've got accessories that we sell in addition: jewelry, veils, headpieces, and shoes, and then tuxedos and suits, and bridesmaids dresses for many different designers. And if you follow our Facebook page, it's Savvy Tuxedos and Bridal Gowns, as well as Instagram, Savvy_NC. Thanks so much. It's great to be here, and I'm glad you guys are joining in. Forever Bridal is the resource here in town for you to plan your wedding. Let me tell you what, they have been a part of the community here in Raleigh for, Laura, I believe it's now going on 29 years. Is that true? Right around 30 years. And they are the singular only resource that people in the Triangle need for their wedding. Their wedding shows are among the best. They just get the bride. Camilla and Emily do an awesome job with connecting the brides with the local resources, and we are here to help you. So we'd love to have you. Thanks for coming on board.
Denise, that is so sweet. You
got it.
Awesome. And it's 25. Thanks for making me 4 years older than I am, but I feel like I should be have been in business that long. And, you know, we're just as excited as you are to get our shows back on track as soon as the governor gives us the okay to start having bigger gatherings again. We definitely want to be that resource where the brides can come and meet all of you wonderful people in person and not just virtually. So fingers crossed that that happens soon. I'm going to switch over, introduce Pamela from Maggie Bridal. Pamela is just joining us by audio, not by video, but I'm going to give her the opportunity to introduce herself and tell you all a little bit about Maggie Bridal. Pamela?
Yeah, hi, I'm Pamela. I am at Maggie Bridal. We've been in business for a long time under current ownership for, we're in our 10th year now, so we're really excited for that. We really specialize on the bride. We do wedding dresses, accessories, anything that the bride can wear, we have. So yeah, we are really excited to get back open this weekend. We're opening on Saturday, and we're fully booked already for appointments, but we're just really excited to help all of the brides who we know have been waiting for a long time to be able to try on their dress, or find their dress. So yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you, Pamela, for being here with us. I know everybody's got so many things going on and going in different directions, but we're happy to carve a little bit of time out here on Wednesday where we can chat with some local bridal shop owners and give everyone out there that's looking for a reason to get out and keep that planning going some good news about when these bridal shops are going to be open, where you can make appointments and get back out there, and just some other thoughts and ideas and tips and advice from our local bridal shops. So I am going to do what I do best, and that is turn it over to Camelia so she can start navigating through our questions and get some information out to you. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask the bridal shops, please just post it in the comments and we'll be sure to get those answered for you as we just continue on. So Camelia, you're up.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura. Thank you everyone for joining us today. I am very excited to get our Q&A started. First things first, I want to address the hot topic, which is all of these salons opening back up. I know the governor gave the go-ahead for some retail shops to begin opening their doors. So I want to take the opportunity for everyone to talk about what this process is going to look like. So when are you officially going to be open to the public? What is the process going to be for brides to book appointments? How many people should they bring with them? Also, I think a concern that people have is trying on these dresses that other people have tried on. How are you dealing with that? So first, when are you open? And how can brides make appointments to come try on dresses at your shop? So we'll start with Janine, and then we'll do Denise, and then Pamela.
Yeah, so we are going to be open starting Saturday. We're really, really excited that the governor's given us the go-ahead. We're also in downtown Durham, and so we were given the okay by the county and the city as well to proceed with being retail. I think we have to keep it to 50% occupancy, which we offer private appointments, so that's not going to really be an issue. I think we are pretty well booked on Saturday. I think I have a 10:30 open, so if somebody wants a 10:30, you can send us a message. Facebook is okay. You can also send us a DM on Instagram and we'll get you together. You can call us 919-797-0028. Or you can also go to our website, which is gavinchristiansenbridal.com/appointments.
Perfect. Denise?
We're in Raleigh and we're going to be opening on Saturday, and we also work by appointment. So you can make a reservation on our website, savvyncgowns.com. We are asking that you would bring 2 other people with you. We make certain that we fully understand the type of gown that you're interested in and get you to try on that particular style. All of our gowns, once they're tried on, will be disinfected and steamed after they're tried on, so you don't have to worry about any type of lingering anything on them. They are completely disinfected after you've tried them on in between wearings, and we disinfect the shop in between our appointments. So the appointment time is 1.5 hours, and then that gives us an additional 30 minutes to take care of that in between time. So go online and book an appointment. We would love to have you. And if you want to give us a call, it's 919-783-8911. And again, our Facebook is Savvy Tuxedos and Bridal Gowns, Instagram Savvy_.
Hey, Denise, why don't you and Janine as well, and before we switch over to Pamela with Maggie, why don't you all in the comments on the Facebook Live put your contact information and how they can book an appointment, and maybe a link to your website or Instagram there as well. And so,
okay.
Yeah, Pamela, if you want to jump in on that as well, about when you'll be opening.
Yeah, so we are opening again this Saturday. We are doing a lot to make sure that everyone stays apart and socially distant as best we can. We are asking that our brides wear masks for most of the appointment. They can take it off when they're looking at themselves in the gown if they desire, but we're requiring all guests, everyone, all of our staff will be wearing masks. We'll also be wearing gloves when we're looking through the dresses so that we're not having a lot of hands on a lot of things. And we're making sure that no two groups are coming into the store at the same time. So the way that our store is set up, we're always very private. We have very private separate rooms with walls in between them. So that's not really a concern for us, fortunately. But yeah, we're doing our best to make sure that we are walking that fine line between helping brides get their dresses and making sure everyone in the store is safe.
So Pamela, you said one appointment in the store at a time. Are there any restrictions on how many guests the bride can bring with her for her appointment?
Yes, we are asking that each bride bring a maximum of one guest. We're encouraging video calling, making sure that they involve as many people as they want to. And we're also offering accessory appointments in the future for those brides so that they can come back in and show anyone their dress in person and they can help them complete their look later.
Perfect. And how long do the appointments last? And what is your time frame in between the appointments to wipe down the store?
So at this time, our appointments are always an hour and a half. We find that that's the perfect amount of time to be able to narrow it down and really be able to commit and say yes to a dress without feeling rushed. We're also leaving half an hour in between appointments right now, and we have 3 bridal suites. We're using 2 of them so that we can shift around as needed and make sure that everything is thoroughly cleaned in between.
So basically every other bride will be in one of the 2 rooms.
Correct, yeah.
Awesome. And Denise, you said yours is pretty much the same. You have an hour and a half for each appointment, 30 minutes in between, and you are restricting the brides to 2 guests. Are you also doing one appointment at a time? Or are you having, sorry, my cat just jumped on my lap. He does whatever he likes. Or are you allowing 2 appointments in the store at one time?
For this Saturday, we're doing 1 appointment per hour, and probably starting next week or under phase 2, we'll go with 2 at a time.
Okay, perfect. And Janine, how long are your appointments? What is your time frame in between? And how many guests can the bride bring into your store?
Yeah, so same thing. It's an hour and a half appointment. We do have that 30-minute slot for cleaning as well. And that's been a standard before COVID-19. We've always been by appointment only, private appointment. We have 1 bridal appointment going on. Generally before pre-COVID, we would have alterations, 1 alteration appointment possibly going on at the same time. Because of the new precautions, we'll just have 1 appointment, whether it be a new bridal appointment or an alteration appointment at a time. So when you come in, you're by yourself, you and the support people you bring with you.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for answering that question. I know that's a hot topic and something a lot of brides are wondering about right now. Denise, you had talked a little bit in your introduction about the price ranges that are offered at your store. Can you talk about that again, as well as the size ranges that you have available at your store? And then we'll have Maggie answer the question, and then Gavin Christensen answer the same question. So price range and size range available at your store.
So the price ranges is between $500 and $2,900 when they're fully customizable. Our sizes range from 4 to size 30. And we believe we have something for everyone within that price range and in that size range. Size 4 generally fits like a size 0 or 2, since bridal sizes run just a little bit smaller. So we've got something for everyone.
Good point. I think a lot of brides get a little disappointed at first when they don't really understand bridal sizing. So that is a good point to make. When you try on dresses in bridal, typically it's going to be 1 to 2 sizes larger than what you normally wear when you go clothing shopping. So very good point. So Pamela, what is your price range at Maggie Bridal and what is your size range?
Yeah, so most of our dresses are between 1,000 and 3,500. We do have a few below, a few above. During this time, we know that a lot of brides are on shorter time frames because we basically lost a month and a half. So we do have some off the rack options that are a little bit less expensive than that as well. We have some as low as 600. And we also have customizable options. So that's a nice way. And that designer can do a super rush in as little as 2 months. So even for brides who are getting married in like September, that would still be an option for them too.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. That's a good point with everything being pushed back. I know that is another concern some brides have had is not having as much time, or with the dresses being ordered from overseas, them not being available in time. So having that off the rack option is really great for brides who might be in that crunch time. So great point. Thank you, Pamela. And Janine, what is your price range and size range that you have available at Gavin Christensen? Oh, wait, you're still muted, Janine.
Oh, there we go. I'm sorry there. Our sizes run from 4 to 32. Our off the rack prices start at 500. We go all the way up to about 4,000. I'd say the sweet spot of where we see a lot of girls purchase, sometimes in that maybe 15 to 25 range, if I had to give a range. But we definitely have options for everyone.
Perfect. Very good. So it sounds like every store is very accommodating, which is great. And each store offers a variety of different styles as well. So that kind of leads me into my next question. I want everyone to weigh in on what they are seeing right now as the current 2020 wedding dress trends, and then what are you seeing coming up very soon for the brides who are going to be getting married in 2021. So we'll go Maggie, Gavin, and then Savvy for this question.
So for 2020, we're seeing a lot of brides who are really focused on being comfortable and really not having to worry about their dress on their wedding day. So we have a few designers who are really starting to come out with a lot more stretch linings, which is amazing, and a lot of really gorgeous detailed laces that still cover up any spots you might want to hide, but still are very comfortable, and you can eat and dance and not have to worry about anything and really focus on what's important on the wedding day. And I definitely don't see that going anywhere for 2021, but we are seeing a little bit more elaborate details coming out in the next couple seasons. Our designers have already given us a little sneak peek for those dresses that are coming, and we're really excited to get those in too.
Awesome. So when do those 2021 dresses, when do they start coming to the stores?
Mm-hmm. So what happened basically in March, normally we go to Chicago or New York and see the newest dresses. And because of all of this, those were canceled. Well, we have placed our orders for the fall 2020 dresses. Those will arrive in the fall. And then the 2021 dresses, normally actually they don't come out with those until September. So they just kind of gave us a sneak peek, but those still won't be out for a while.
Okay, good to know for those brides who are watching, if they're interested in a tradition, either of those styles, that way they can know, when they might want to make their appointments to see the newest styles. So if you're interested in some newer dresses, definitely look out for the fall. And Janine, what are you seeing as the current trend for 2020, and what do you see coming up for the future of 2021?
I've seen and gotten a lot of requests for cool accessories. So maybe you have a really nice dress, but you've got an overskirt so that you can have the two looks. A lot of requests for things like capes, just something to kind of give you like a different piece to your dress so that you can have a couple different looks. Definitely seeing and getting the requests for things that are comfortable. Maybe it's an A-line. You want to be able to dance and eat. You don't want to worry about things that are bodycon. But I'm also getting girls that want something that are really sexy. And so we're seeing some of those styles come out where we're still seeing some cutouts and deep V's into cleavage. So really just a lot of options where you can look at what it is about your body that you want to accentuate and either play that up or either play up your venue or your comfort level. So I don't know that that would necessarily change for 2021. I think we're going to see a lot of girls that are going for more of a simple deconstructed look. No fuss and not anything that's going to be too constricting, but waiting for market and see and really excited.
That's awesome. So something that's comfortable, but they still can show their personality and their uniqueness with some of these accessories and different cuts, the added skirt, the added cape.
Any sort of
like
customizations too. I think customizations have been really big where you know that there is a dress that the designer's made, but the request to see like how can we change it up. So I think that's really fun as well, playing with different customization options.
Yeah, that's something I actually did with my dress. I made a few different custom changes. I ordered a different color. I had the zipper changed. And it was really cool because while other people were able to get my dress, I still felt like it was more custom because I had made those changes. So that's really great. And for those brides watching, those are always questions you'll want to ask. Can you have added length? Can you add this? Can you move that to make your dress customizable and totally unique and to your own style? So very good point. Thank you. And then Denise with Savvy, it looks like you're going to show us one of the dresses that's trending right now. So talk to us about this beautiful ball gown.
Well, thank you very much, Camilla. We did appreciate having you as our bride, and we did appreciate the easy customizations that we did, making that side zipper on your dress, which created the back lace to have such a beautiful, undeterred style on it. It was really gorgeous.
Yeah.
And you needed the extra length, so that was a good idea.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
This one that I was speaking about is what we see a lot of are these handkerchief hems this year is what they're called, with a little bit of the horsehair on the bottom and a little bit of the sparkle. It really accentuates when they have the illusion. So you've got the actual dress itself that is the sweetheart neckline, but then you have the illusion straps, which seems to be trending really hot this year. This one right over here is also a, much like Pamela had mentioned, the lining is what's considered to be jersey knit lining. My mannequin fell over there. Jersey knit lining right in there. So it's incredibly comfortable. It's a very sleek look, and sleeves are also very hot. Not hot temperature wise, but they're awesome for the fall is what I mean. And this one has sheer sleeves, so it's just a gorgeous, wonderful style. It's got a little bit of peekaboo illusion, and so that's what we see. This probably a little bit moving into the fall with the illusion, and then something along the lines of this style over here, very, very simple and elegant, opens up the chest very well. It's a gorgeous Mikado fabric and very fitted, nice style.
Yeah, I love that dress you pointed out with the long sleeves that kind of has that peekaboo in the chest. It looks like it is very comfortable, but you still get to be a little sexy without showing too much. Very simple, sleek, but again, you show your personality and your style, a little bit something extra to what would be otherwise a kind of simple dress. I love that style. It's beautiful.
Okay, so
we'll get to show it on our runway soon.
Yes. And buttons down the back.
Oh, very nice. Oh, beautiful. I love that. I love looking at all the different wedding dress styles. There's so many different unique styles, something for every single bride out there, whether you're having a big wedding, small wedding, indoor wedding, outdoor wedding, spring, winter, fall. I just love looking at all of the different styles that everyone has available. It makes it so much fun. So next I want to ask, obviously when a bride goes wedding dress shopping, usually it's her first time trying on a dress. So there are a lot of things she might be nervous about or things she might not know and be prepared for. So I want to ask each of you, what advice do you have for brides who are trying on a dress for the very first time? Any tips or any advice on what can she expect when she goes for her first fitting? So we'll answer this with Janine first, then Pamela, and then Denise.
Yeah, so one of the things I always tell girls, honestly, is just to come as you are, right? Like, don't come in with any sort of preconceived notions. Perhaps you've thought about what you want, so you know maybe you have an idea of a style or a silhouette, but not to be too married, pun intended, to what you think is your style. So come as you are, come with an open mind. I get a lot of questions. Do I need to bring undergarments? We tell you, if you have some that you think you'd like to try something out or that make you feel comfortable, certainly bring them. We'll talk about undergarments and support and things as we go through silhouettes. We talk about, where you're getting married, so having that kind of in mind. I would say, one of the other popular things people say, do I need to bring shoes? And we say, well, not really. I think it takes more time to stumble in and out of shoes than to go through all the dresses. And so we want to really spend time going through and finding your yes dress, rather than kind of making sure that we are prettied up, when we'll get to that on the back end with an accessories appointment. I would say just really come prepared with whoever is your support. So right now, like the other shops, we are limiting how many you can bring along with you. So right now, we want you to bring your 2 favorite people, your 2 cheerleaders, people that are going to be by your side and not any way of like condescending or whatever. So just your 2 favorite cheerleaders, your 2 favorite people. Be prepared to say yes and be prepared to be surprised, because a lot of times people say, I didn't think I would find my dress, at my first appointment. And so just really take your mind out of having to run around like a crazy person and really think about, who am I and what do I want to look like on my special day? So those are a few kind of, I'd say, unconventional tips that I typically get. But yeah.
Awesome. And it is hard, I think, especially with shows like Say Yes to the Dress, we get these preconceived notions of what it is supposed to feel like and look like when we go and try on wedding dresses. And that might be your experience, but that might not be your experience. So you just need to be open-minded and let the professionals do what they do best in helping you find that dress. Pamela, what tips do you have for brides who are going for their first appointment?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with everything that Janine said. We have a lot of brides who expect it to be difficult, and then they come in and they're like, wait, this was really easy. And that's of course something we love to hear, but it's not something that has to be difficult or has to have a lot of pressure. And I think it's great to come in with an idea of what you want, but we always kind of throw in a couple wild cards, because it's probably about like 50-50 as to whether brides come in and get what they thought they wanted or something totally different. So yeah, definitely be open-minded, and yeah, don't make it harder than it has to be. There's, like you said, with the Say Yes to the Dress experience, everyone has a different idea of what it should feel like when they put on their dress. But of course, everyone's different. Not everyone cries. Most people don't cry. And I know I was definitely more logical than emotional, and neither reaction is wrong. It's just individual to every person, and when you feel good about yourself, and that's what is really important. So
yeah, I love what you said about throwing in those wild card dresses. That is exactly what happened to me when I went wedding dress shopping. I thought I wanted a particular style and color, and I wasn't finding exactly what I was looking for. I had probably tried on at least 50 to 70 wedding gowns. Also, I model wedding gowns, so it was very difficult for me to figure out what I wanted. And when I went into a shop, the dress consultant said, can I just throw you like 5 or 6 dresses to try on? Can I just pull things from the back and you'll just try them on? So I said, sure. And I think it was the second dress that she pulled out. And it took me so long to say yes to that dress, because it was nothing at all like I had imagined. walking down the aisle in, but it was perfect. So definitely I can attest to that. Trust your dress consultants. And yes, be prepared to say yes. It is very tiring. I'll also say that. Speaking of Maggie, I don't know if Emily's watching right now, but I know she found her dress at Maggie. And with her experience, I think it was at the end of the day, she had been trying on dresses all day. She was totally exhausted, didn't even want to try on the last dress. And her mom pushed her, said, why don't you just try it on? She tried it on, looked in the mirror, and she said, this is it.
Yep.
So lots of different experiences. Just be prepared to find the one at any time. So great advice there. And then Denise, what tips do you have for brides trying on dresses for the first time, and what can they expect?
I've been thinking about this, and I'm not sure that I've ever been asked what brides expect. I know that we have had brides that say it wasn't what they expected, so that's kind of an interesting idea, because much like you say, they have an idea of what it looks like on television, about how it's supposed to look and how exactly they're supposed to react. But much like Pamela said, everyone is very different, and so come prepared to have a good time, period. Come prepared to have a good time. Bring along some water, or we've got water. Stay hydrated, bring a snack. Let's have a party. We're going to celebrate when you say yes to your dress, and it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to have an idea about what style looks great on you. We're going to have an idea about what types of things. If you want our input, that's why you trust professionals. We've been doing it a long time. We can't pick out the dress for you. You'll know it when you've got it on.
Exactly. And I think that's also great advice that you mentioned about staying hydrated and having a snack, especially if you plan on having like a marathon day where you're visiting maybe 2, 3, 4 different stores in one day, can be very exhausting. It doesn't sound like a lot, but putting on those heavy dresses, getting in, getting out, you get hot. It's very emotional. So making sure that you eat a good meal and stay hydrated if you are going to try on multiple dresses all in one day. Very good tip there. Yep. Our favorite bride is watching us live right now, Sarah.
I was just going to say that. I didn't know if you were able to see your phone and check out the questions, but Sarah's on, and I'm like, have this love for Sarah, and I've never met her before. She's awesome. She's hopped on most of our Wedding Wednesday lives, and so she has populated some questions in our comments on it. Camilla, can you see those? Did you want to address them? Perfect.
Yes, I do want to address those. So Sarah, your one question I can address personally. You asked for the minimum number of shops that you should visit to find your dress. You should visit as many shops as it takes to find the one, whether that's 1 store, 3 stores, or 7 stores. I think you missed it earlier, but Pamela, Maggie was saying, or no, Janine, I think you were saying, don't be surprised if you find the dress within, your first visit. You might go to your first shop and it might be the first dress you put on and you just feel like that is the one. That might happen. But if you don't, you just keep going until you get that feeling. We have tons of great shops within the area. So there is no minimum number of shops that you should visit. It's just you keep trying on dresses until you find the one that you feel is right for your wedding day. But I do like your first question because I think a lot of brides can relate. You've never tried on a wedding dress before, so you don't know what to expect. Her question is, what do you do when a bride doesn't know what she wants? Maybe she has 2 completely opposite ideas. Maybe she thinks she wants a simple ball gown, but then she also is drawn towards an embellished mermaid dress. How do you handle a conflicted bride or a bride that just really doesn't know what she's looking for? We'll go Denise, Pamela, and then Janine.
Okay, if a bride is not certain what she's looking for, we'll generally start with the 4 different styles of bridal gowns to kind of narrow down where she's going from that, whether it be an A-line or a fitted or a mermaid. We can tell based on both her reaction as well as what she's feeling and telling us about what she likes about the dress. And then we can get a little bit better idea of the feel of what she's looking for based on her feeling in the dress.
So you start out by figuring out what silhouette style she feels comfortable and confident in. And from there, then you will figure out the actual style, whether she wants lace, satin, etc.
Yes.
Awesome. Perfect. Pamela, how do you handle a bride that either doesn't know what she wants or maybe she's drawn to two completely different styles?
So we always start out our appointments with a consultation. We talk about where the wedding will be, when it will be, all of basically your whole vision for the wedding in general. And using that in the consultation, we kind of ask questions later on as you're trying on and say, okay, so you're looking at this heavier satin ball gown versus this more sheath lacy look for an outside wedding in June. Maybe that ball gown is gonna make you sweat a little bit, and things like that, where if you're torn on styles and you really like them both equally, thinking about practicality is always good. We also have the brides go and look around at the dresses so they can see something that maybe wouldn't have caught their eye online, but they really like it in person, and so that you can get multiple things on your body, because when you're looking online, you might have two different ideas, and then as soon as you put it on, you know which one to go for. So we also have different options like overskirts, like lace toppers, where you can add a sleeve to a strapless dress, so you can kind of get both looks. You can get a ball gown and a fitted dress if you want to, if you're really conflicted, and maybe you wear one down the aisle and one for the reception. So we kind of have options for everyone.
Yeah, I love that. I do also have to give Maggie Bridal a shout out. Emily, my coworker, who I mentioned got her dress there, she had some major alterations done to her dress. She had a ball gown and she had some cap sleeves put on, and then she took them off for the reception. With my gown, it came with a detachable skirt, so I wore the skirt for the ceremony and took it off for the reception, so I was able to get two completely different looks. So the customization is a very good option, like you had mentioned. If you are kind of going in between, you can have two different looks within one dress.
Mm-hmm.
And then Janine, what is your advice for a bride that might not know what her style is?
Yeah, so I would mirror that same conversation about looking for things that are interchangeable. So like, again, the ball gown skirt that comes off, and now you have the sheath or sexy fitted mermaid. But one thing I say that we do, or that I know that we do in the shop rather, is that we have a girl, what we call a wild card. So that's a girl that, like, I don't have any pictures to show you. I've never been anywhere. I don't know. And so we call that girl our wild card. And so just like we tell the girls to be flexible, we have to be flexible when this wild card comes in that has no idea of what she wants. We'll do a couple different things. We will go and pull for her and say, try this, and we kind of narrow down. We will let family and friends sometimes kind of point at, if there's a dress that they saw on a mannequin in the window, can she try this one? We'll do that. We will pull out different things like sleeves or straps or embellishments to really show them, here's how you could change it and what that would look like. But the main thing is just remaining flexible and kind of seeing, flexible and patient, and seeing what kind of options there are that we can start to narrow down from. So what we would often do is start with something, say, really voluminous, like a really big ball gown, and that girl say, no, that's too big. And then we kind of slim down from there, or vice versa, start slim and kind of go up. And then talk about building the other options later, whether it's like a lace or a different kind of cutout or a sleeve. So we really kind of, it kind of becomes like playtime, dress up, if you will. Obviously, it's a little bit more focused, right? We have an end goal, but we're going to try and see, how do you feel with this, sleeve, or how do you feel with this, adding this cape? Does this give you the coverage, maybe, if someone's concerned about their arms? So kind of adding and then taking away, or starting bare and then adding on as we get closer to where the girl's wanting to say yes.
And as with anything else, the more dresses you try on, the more you will learn and understand about yourself. The more stores you visit, you will get to understand what your wedding day style might be. So it just might take time. And like we've mentioned before, trust your dress consultants. They know what they're doing. If they pull something that you're like, no, I do not see myself walking down the aisle in that, just try it on, because you never know how it's going to feel or how it's going to look on your body. They know. And if it doesn't work, just throw it back on the hanger. No hurt feelings, but you might find the one that way. Another question from Sarah that I wanted to address with everyone is regarding the time frame of when you should order your dress. So sometimes I know that does vary a little bit depending on the designer and each designer, but generally speaking, how far in advance, one, should the bride come and start trying on dresses to find the one? Two, when should she order her dress to make sure that she gets it in time for alterations, bridal portraits, and things like that? So those two questions. And then building on that more specifically for Sarah, she is getting married in October, and she has family out in Colorado that can't come dress shopping with her due to the coronavirus. So she's getting married in October. She does not have a dress right now. So what are her steps that she should take specifically? So we'll start with Pamela, Janine, and then Denise.
So as far as time frame goes, generally speaking, we normally recommend shopping and purchasing about 10 to 12 months before the wedding. So that gives enough time because the designers, generally speaking, are 6 to 8 month delivery. Some are 4 months, but that will give you the highest number of options. And then a lot of seamstresses around this area like to have at least 3 months for alterations. So that kind of encompasses everything that will make sure that there's not a dress in the store that you can't look at because of time, or that you need to pay an extra rush fee for. Now, this time is a little bit different, like I kind of hinted at earlier. We do have rush options for brides getting married sooner than that because we are aware that there's some lost time there. We also have one designer with several different collections that we carry that has already been in touch with us saying that they bulked up on their inventory that they have already in their headquarters in New York. So we can go ahead and pull from that and get you your dress in less than 2 weeks in your size, brand new. So we have off the rack options, we have options like that. It just depends. So we have something for everyone. Ideally, you have about 10 months before the wedding, but we know that's not always possible because some engagements are less than 10 months. So yeah, we try to make sure that we have something for everyone.
Awesome. And as you had mentioned earlier, those off the rack dresses might be an option as well. And if you're trying to save some money, those are going to be a good option because if they are off the rack, then typically they are going to be a little bit less of a cost for you. So that's an option as well. Janine, what are you kind of seeing as the average time to start your shopping and then order your dress?
Same thing, pre-COVID, I would say about 6 to 9 months. Right now, we're telling people you need to definitely do 12 months, if not more. And then also looking at the option of off the rack and maybe customizing on the back end with our seamstress. What I will say is that I typically will look at someone's wedding date. If someone specifically asks me about their date, and ask a couple questions like, when is the first time you're going to wear your dress? If the first time you're wearing your dress is wedding date, then we'll back out from there when we need to have it in hand to start alterations. If you are planning on doing bridal portraits, maybe you want to take a picture and have it displayed during your reception. Let's not build to your wedding date. Let's build maybe a month or so before when you're going to do that portrait so that we could possibly have your alterations completed in time for that as well. So we kind of, every case is different. What I will say too is that everybody's seen the stories. In general, sometimes there are issues with supply chain if something's coming in from somewhere else. And so it's better to have it in your hand than to wait and hedge your bet and be upset and have to go running around like crazy. So I've been saying, if your wedding is anytime between October and next summer, you need to be in the store like right now. Ordering, making a decision right now so that you have it in your hand. And If it sits in the closet, or if we, keep it in storage for you, that's fine as well. And then specific to, I think Sarah's question, October, I would say she definitely needs to be in a store right now. I would say that, again, it depends from the designer. We do work with a designer that has, an 8-week, 12-week turnaround sometimes. Sometimes they keep stock in inventory, and so we're able to quickly get something, but that's not always the case. And so I'd rather you get what you need than be disappointed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point about backtracking from bridal portraits. That was something that I did not think of prior to ordering my dress, and I did not get my dress in time. I'll talk a little bit more about that after, but basically, long story short, I dragged my feet with saying yes to the dress, had to place a rush order. I think my dress came in 2 weeks before my wedding. Luckily, I didn't need any alterations. It fit like a glove, and got it dry cleaned, and I think it was in my house like 3 days before my wedding day. So little stressful, but it worked out perfectly. But yeah, so definitely backtracking if you want to do something like bridal portraits, and giving yourself plenty of time in case there are any issues. Definitely the way to go. Don't be like me and drag your feet. Denise, what are you seeing as far as when should the brides first come in to try on dresses? How long do the designers you work with typically take? And what should our bride who's getting married in October look to do right now?
Hi there. So I would say that if you're getting married in October, this is definitely the time you need to be in store. If you have an earlier wedding date than October, we can certainly work with you to find something. As she had mentioned, designers have things in stock, and we also have dresses off the rack ready to wed so that you can get them altered and go. We have plenty of options for any time remaining this year. If you want to custom order and have custom changes done to a dress without having it sent special fast way, you would imagine that you would be from November on. So I hope that makes sense. I wonder if, I'm sorry,
No, you're fine.
Yep.
That does make sense. With what you're saying with everything. And Janine, you said you wanted to add something else?
Yeah, Sarah talked about her family being in Colorado. We get a lot of brides from out of state, or just, maybe they go to, I don't know, Duke, and mom doesn't live here. So if your family can't travel or shouldn't be traveling, what we can also do is do like we're doing now, do a Zoom call, do FaceTime. Sometimes those appointments take a little bit longer because mom wants us to kind of like pan in and show her the exact details and where it bustles. But I would say, do not let the fact that your family is not around deter you from shopping. Go ahead and get it done. You can jump into our Wi-Fi. We can FaceTime her or whatever video method. And then also too, let's say your dress comes in and mom just really, really missed the appointment. We will do what's called a reveal appointment. Oftentimes we pair it with your accessories so that mom can come in finally and see, your dress and what you said yes to, and then also be there during alterations process as well. So don't let the family deter you. Let's see if we can get them on video.
And then you become her temporary family the day of for her appointment.
Your family, once you come in, you can't, it's like a gang, you can't leave. You're in forever.
I love that. Yeah, we have our Forever Bridal family with all of our vendors. So it's the same thing when you go dress shopping and you see these brides multiple times. So you really do become like family members with these wedding pros. Sarah, you asked, does interchangeable mean expensive? I'll answer that very quickly. Typically, if you get a dress that is interchangeable, that does have those added features, that will bring the cost up, because with that, you are paying for extra fabric and extra accessories. If you are making any customizable changes, that also typically will come with some sort of fee, because it is not the standard dress. They might have to make a new pattern to accommodate that. And again, that's extra material and extra work. So typically, if you are getting some kind of customization or a dress where it's kind of two looks in one, there will be an added cost to that. My dress came with a detachable skirt, but my dress was one of the higher end costs of the dresses at that store because it came with the dress. So that's going to be a quick answer there. Another question I want all of the professionals to weigh in on is, how do you deal with the bride? So my issue when I was getting married was, as I've mentioned, I ended up saying yes to a dress that was something I did not imagine at all. Because it was so different, I had trouble pulling the trigger and actually getting that dress. I kept coming back to the store to try on different dresses. I didn't know if that was the one. What is your advice to a bride who has found her dress, but she it might be a little insecure or unsure about pulling the trigger because it's something different than what she's imagined? How do you deal with that, or what would you say to that bride to make her feel more comfortable and confident in her decision? We'll go Janine, Pamela, and then Denise.
Yeah, so we try to remove most of those barriers on the front end by being really upfront and talking about budget and looks and body parts that we want covered or uncovered, so that we can kind of set the bar high as we start. I would say we would have a conversation, a really frank conversation. What's stopping you? Is it, mom's opinion? Is it friend's opinion? Is it budget? Hopefully we've had that conversation on the front end, but sometimes it is budget. And so really it just becomes a conversation of what is it that you're looking for? What is it that's missing? Let's talk about where your wedding venue is, and that you're doing, let's say, your ceremony at the lake or whatever. Can you envision yourself in the lake? Sometimes it takes doing things like adding a veil or adding accessories, because then you can see what the full picture looks like. So it just becomes kind of like a conversation and figuring out what's missing or what can be added to or taken away even sometimes. And then to backtrack to Sarah's question about things being more expensive because you have to have extra add-ons. One of the things we talk about is maybe, again, you're that indecisive girl, maybe you do a sheath and then you change into a jumpsuit, or we look at some other type of gown, maybe that's off the rack, that both gowns will fit within your budget so that you can get the two looks in one without having to do it with the dress. Because sometimes you will find if it's a new season dress and it's got these two pieces to it, it may be more expensive than doing something that's off the rack and something that is a little bit more within your budget or original style idea. So all in all, I think it all just becomes a conversation so that we can kind of whittle everything down and get you to yes.
Perfect. You're going to be that family member for that bride and really get in there and help her feel confident with her decision.
Yeah.
Pamela, how would you deal with a bride who, that's the dress for her, but she's not feeling confident in her decision? What do you say to her?
So my first question is usually, okay, is there something that you would change or something that you could imagine that would be better than this dress? And a lot of the times to that, the answer is no. So I always ask, okay, like what else are you looking for? And it is part of expectations, making sure that the bride knows that it's very normal to end up with something that's different than what you expected, and just making sure that she feels beautiful. And that's really all you can ask for, I think. So, yeah.
Yeah. And the reason I'm asking this to all of you is because I'm sure you've seen it many times when you know that she's found the one. You can see it in the face. I think you, as dress consultants, as professionals who have done this for so long, when your bride has found the dress, but it's her first time. She might not know that that's the one for her. So Denise, how would you deal with that bride that might be a little scared to pull the trigger on the dress?
Well, much like you said, I think it's a little bit scary because you're moving into a new part of your life and you're really identifying your own style going forward. So whether it matches the vision that you either had to begin with or the vision that maybe your mom had for you or your best friend had for you, it's you trying to step out and confidently move into the future. It's not something that it's something so personal that it's not something someone else can pick for you. You have to be, we want to be able to help you, guide you through that. Much like the other girls said, it's identifying what it is that you may or may not like about the dress that either could be changed, because maybe you don't feel comfortable that it doesn't have sleeves, but if you could add sleeves, then it might become the perfect dress. Maybe that's what it is you need. Maybe it's It's just the expectations of your family that's holding you back. And so it's just a conversation that we have with the brides to determine what's best for them. If I could explain why it was that Camilla, you had indicated that you had dragged your feet a little bit on the ordering. I don't know if it was anything that we did or if it was anything you did, or you know, if it was something in particular that I think it was just a matter of time frame. So the sooner the better.
Yeah, it definitely, like I said, it was just something totally different than what I had imagined. In fact, it was something I thought I did not want at all, because it ended up having a beaded illusion neck design, which I was steering away from. So for me, it really was just a matter of time. And then I got to the point where it was like, okay, I need to order something, because as you all heard, I placed a rush and it still got here like 2 days before my wedding, when it was all said and done with alterations and dry cleaning and everything. So the last thing I want to address, Sarah, you asked about the cost of dresses. That was something we had talked about earlier. With these shops, some offer dresses that start at $500. Some might offer dresses that start at a little bit of a higher cost. Average might be starting at $1,000, but Maggie had mentioned, you know, they might have some off the rack dresses that are $600. So it really just varies by store, whether the dresses that they order are available at that lower cost. I know you said you were particularly looking for dresses under $1,000, so they might be able to order dresses under $1,000, or you can ask the store if they have off the rack options available in your size. Those will typically be at that lower price point, which with your wedding being in October might also be another thing that you have to look at, just because of time frame right now. Some designers are working with rushes due to COVID. So that's really just kind of dependent on the shop and where you're looking and what's available with that. But yeah, I think those are all the questions that I have. Thank you all. You have given us some great information. I guess if we want to go around, and if everyone just wants to kind of give one, I don't know, do you guys want to give like a little closer, or, you know, a last tip to the brides that are watching? I think we covered a lot of really good information in the last hour though. So.
You did a great job.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you. I'll kick it back to you, Laura.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was really, really informative. All three of y'all are just super. You have, it seems like, great ideas and thoughts and tips for the brides, great information to pass along. You all seem like you have different styles and price points and ways to interact and engage with the brides. So that's just so encouraging to know in our community here that there are so many options for everyone and something for everyone. So it was really great to hear from all of you. I'm most excited with the new lift on restrictions that you all are going to be able to open. Sounds like this weekend. Sounds like you've already got appointments slated for your calendars. And I think that's really great news for all the brides out there that are still looking, or maybe got cut off from looking because things happened really so quickly when we all had to close. So I am so thankful for being in phase one, and that you all get to meet with these girls starting this weekend with some appointments. I want to make sure that you all put a link in the comments if you haven't already. I think I saw Maggie and Gavin did, but Denise, if you can put a link in one of the comments to the store, maybe your social media as well, with information on how to book appointments. I think that would be really helpful to everyone. And just thanks again for taking time out of your Wednesday afternoon to join us for our bridal shop talk today. I hope everybody that was listening and watching will share with someone they know who might be looking for a wedding dress or just formal wear in general for their bridal party. And we'll be back next week. I think we are talking DJs. Is that right, Camelia?
That
We're
is
talking
correct.
DJs and music
That will be
next week.
That will be a fun and entertaining video, I can guarantee.
Yeah, those will be some really big personalities, and I'm excited to chat with some DJs next week. And we'll probably have more insight on what the community is looking like in terms of size of gatherings and so forth. So that will be some great info to hear from the DJs. But have a great Wednesday, everybody.
Thanks
Thank
much.
you again, Janine from Gavin Christensen Bridal, Denise from Savvy, and Pamela from Maggie Bridal. We look forward to doing more business soon and seeing you guys next time. So thanks so much.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.